Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink, it is time for some PathOfExile discussion. Welcome to day 15 of Teaser season for patch 3.24 and the upcoming Necropolis expansion. You're not missing anything, there was no day 13 video, there was no day 14 video, because there was no news out of grinding gear games themselves. However, there was a very important piece of news that I am rolling into this video, and that relates to Path of Building. We'll come to that in a sec. It's the most important piece of news so far today. Lastly, there's a potential grinding gear games might drop additional news later. If that happens, I'll make a separate video on it if it's big, or roll it into tomorrow's video. So, firstly, we got a quality of life change, and this is one that had already been hinted at. You can assign a keybind to use portal scrolls. Now, there's a screenshot here that I am aware some people have been a bit suspicious about because it mentions sentinels, but I did check out what the situation is in the game at the moment at the bottom of this input menu in the options, and Stalker Sentinel, Pandemonium Sentinel, Apex Sentinel, they're all actually listed still in the keybinds in patch 3.23. So it's not like there's any concrete proof of anything related to Sentinel being available in the game at the moment, because those keybinds are just simply unchanged. Now the key thing here, this is going to be a simple quality of life thing that is probably going to make hardcore play without a logout macro feel a lot safer. And of course, the closer to level 100 you get, the more that softcore starts to approach hardcore, in terms of the death penalty becoming more severe in softcore play as well. Especially if you're level 99 and you're past 10% XP, it can feel pretty crushing to take a death, and the ability to more efficiently drop a portal scroll mid-combat is going to be a big improvement there. So while this is a quality of life change, this is actually going to have a fair number of balance implications for people who don't use logout macros. For people who do use logout macros, it's going to be a nothing change. The next thing Grinding Gear Games have announced today is that they're going to be doing an interview with streamer Talkative Tree, who's really interesting, and that's going to be taking place when this video is about 21 hours old. Link down in the description below though to the announcement, which will have the time in your specific time zone. Finally, we have the big announcement though, and that is that version 2.40.0 of Path of Building is now available. This updates Path of Building to reflect all of the changes that were made in the 3.24 patch notes, except for a couple of things that remain outstanding. The most important thing that remains outstanding is transfigured gems that are being added. Those are not done, but pretty much everything else seems to be done. This is the definitive program that people use if they want to theorycraft characters, and I put a link down in the description below to the Reddit thread where this was announced, and where you can read up more on Path of Building. But this is one of those tools that most veteran players spend a lot of time with. One thing I'm looking forward to doing over the next couple of days is playing around with Path of Building a little bit and just trying to come up with the core interactions behind at least one build for each ascendancy. These won't be fleshed out, but then potentially flesh out a couple of them. In terms of my own league start plans, I'm going to miss the first couple of days because of pre-existing social commitments, but after that, I'm toying with either following the meta and going with a Hierophant mana stacking Archmage build, or alternately going with a Chieftain Firetrap Ignite build. They're the two things at the top of my radar at the moment, but that's going to be something I'll be thinking more about over the next few days. Who knows, maybe I'll change my mind at the last minute again. That's all I got for now. May your Varlorbs have interesting results, and if you did miss the live stream where we discussed all of the patch notes, I'll put a link to that down in the bottom left corner of the screen now.